Hi everyone, this is Camper Cooking with Chef Paul.
Cheers. Like a lot of you, I've been watching a lot more YouTube since the pandemic started. Channels I follow, when they don't have a video they can release, they do a channel update. So guess what I'm doing? I really appreciate the feedback I've been getting from you guys. I've heard that you don't want to see me chopping vegetables for half an hour. I've heard you do want to see me chopping vegetables. You want to see nature, you want to see the stuff being cooked outside. So do I. Can't do all that stuff right now because we have a bunch of weird rules. Well, maybe not weird rules. We have a bunch of rules here in France, and travel's really kind of discouraged. So I'm not able to make the kind of videos I want to make. Plus, I don't really have the right kind of equipment that I want to make. Because again, when I look at my YouTube mentors, well, most of them are using a really nice camera. Specifically a Sony Alpha 3Cs, and I want one. I just don't have 2,000 or 3,000 euros. Well, 2,000 euros for the camera and another 1,000 euros for the lens I want. And the food looks okay on the little cheap GoPro cameras that I've been using. But when I go outside and I try to show you a castle, you don't see it. I haven't been able to keep true to the vision of what I want the channel to look like. I want to show you me making the food at home, doing the hard part at home, doing some of the fancy stuff at home, doing some of the tricks that I've learned over 30 years of doing this at home, and then taking them out and having an easy cooking, finishing out in the woods or in the mountains or at the beach or somewhere in France or Germany or Switzerland or Belgium or Luxembourg or, any of these amazing places that are close to me. That's what I want to do, but I can't travel right now. And then another thing happened. Human resources at the university where my wife was working has been pretty good about going to the prefect with us and lining up appointments and speaking to all that French government officials where we can get our green cards. Well, it really is called a titre de séjour. And so about 3.5 weeks ago, one of the human resources reps was at the prefect in the center of Strasbourg, helping us with our titre de séjour green card, basically. We're talking, his English is amazing, and he's a really nice guy. And I said, yeah, it's been a big regret of mine during this pandemic that I haven't been able to learn French as well as I wanted to, because it's important to me. I'm a historian is one of the things I've done, so I really want to be tuned into the French culture, and I'm not as well tuned in as I'd like to be, even after a 1.5 years here. He said, we have a couple of jobs that available that nobody wants. He didn't say that, but I think it's true. Anyway, that was a Thursday. I slept on the idea because I'm really kind of enjoying not working. Decided that maybe it was in my best interest to send him a resume, except they call it a CV because they're all European and academic and stuff. So I sent him one of those things. The next morning, that afternoon, I was in a Zoom interview with a director of their summer program or space studies program, and the logistics director asking if I would take a job as the deputy logistics director. And I said, well, let me think about it. Next morning, I was in the chief financial officer's office with a contract already signed by the president, and they asked me a couple of softball questions, and then the next day I started working. You know about that 35-hour French work week you've heard about with the 2-hour lunches? Yeah, that doesn't happen. Most days I do get an hour and a half lunch, and that's pretty nice. But I've been working 10 to 14 hours a day for the last 3 weeks. They are pretty good about honoring weekends, and they're going to try to stick to that. So I took the job, obviously. Doesn't pay very much, and it ends at the end of August, which I suspect is going to be about the run of this third or fourth wave that we're experiencing in Europe of pandemic. And honestly, it may end earlier because it may be that this program isn't possible. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to make a little money, which means I can buy some cameras that I want. Maybe a drone. You know, those YouTube guys I follow, they all have drones, or almost all of them. And I like that idea. And I think it'll work well with the channel too. My vision for the channel is a lot nicer video than what I've been making, and a lot better produced than what I've been able to do. And yeah, I bought a really nice set of software and a super nice computer to help me with it. But you know, these tools don't really help me overcome the limitations of my abilities. So I want to work on that more, and I really kind of rely on your feedback. And the critical feedback it's really good. I mean, that really helps me a lot, and I don't mind that at all. I value that. And honestly, there's only a few of you that actually watching this, and your feedback is invaluable to me. And it's been interesting. You know, obviously my family watches, and I think so some of my really good friends from over the years are watching these, and hey, it's great. It's great to almost see you, or I guess you see me. I don't see you the way this works, but your comments I really love. My very first sous chef is a loyal follower and commenter, and comments really help a whole lot with my YouTube analytics. That's huge to me. That's really pretty cool. So anyway, I love all of you, and I really appreciate that you're following. I just want to let you know I'm probably not going to post anything more until September. Maybe sooner, maybe things get better, maybe I get fired, maybe my job ends, maybe the pandemic goes away. I doubt all of these things. But in the meanwhile, just know that what I make for these channels is actually more important to me than what I'm doing for a living, because my wife's got our living covered, which is, I'm married well. That's a good thing. Making these videos is important to me. I want to make good videos. I want to make much better videos than I've been able to make. I can blame the equipment about that much. My learning curve is a much bigger issue. And those of you that are still watching, man, I really appreciate it. I really do. And I hope you'll be patient, and I hope that you'll not drop your subscriptions, and I hope in September pick these up again. You know, maybe eventually I'll even have time to remaster once I've already made and add some better, more interesting footage. That's where I'm at. I'm going to pause. I'm going to wait to make more videos until I can travel and finish the videos the way I want to, where we're in the Vosges Mountains or the Black Forest or at the beach or in Burgundy or Champagne, or you know, all these really amazing places that are close to us. That's where I want to be. That's where I want you to see me finishing off a steak or whatever it is. I'm hoping that I get to go to Toulouse in a couple of weeks. I'm supposed to proctor an exam there, but who knows if that's going to be allowed. But while I'm there, that's kind of, we're getting into that area where ducks are really a thing, and pâté de canard and all of those things that's really kind of a thing there, and it'd be great to shoot some video there. We'll see what I can do with it. Anyway, I want to move forward with the channel, but I got to pause it. I've just got to pause it. I need to make a little bit of money that my wife's agreed that I can go ahead and squander that on some new toys. I want to make the videos more interesting, not just from a culinary standpoint, but also from kind of a cultural and historical standpoint. And even more important than that, I want to make the videos more fun to watch and prettier to watch. I need to develop and practice those skills and do a better job, frankly. That's my vision. And I really appreciate my friends like Tom DePlanty and Julian that provide this amazing music and let me use it without worrying about copyrights. That's huge to me, and that means a lot to me. And I want my videos to reflect the quality of what you guys do as well. So that's where I'm at. No videos for the next couple of months. I am working really, really hard. I don't particularly want to, but you know, I also do enjoy that interaction, that human interaction, and appreciate how much the university needs me right now. And I want to do everything I can to support the university, since the university's kind of given me the excuse and the legal means ability to be in Europe, and I'd like to pay some of that back too. Cheers. Oh, by the way, what am I drinking? Because that was a lot of talking without that much drinking, and obviously I've had a few before I started, but this is, well, you can read the label, and that's pretty accurate for 90% of this. It's also 10% pecan, but not this pecan. This is pecan club. This is what you put in cremant to. If you get a sweet cremant accidentally, you can add some of this really bitter orange flavor, and man, it's really good. It's kind of a deal. I was walking through the grocery store one day, and the wine rep's there, and or the liquor rep, or whoever it is trying to sell you their product, and she had us try this, and I said, okay, well, that's interesting. And then there's a book that my sister recommended calling Drinking French, I think it's called. I'm not sure, and I should know that and tell you who the author is and credit everybody properly. I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll pop it up here on the screen somewhere. That'll be nice. Anyway, I was reading this book that my sister sent. My sister, by the way, knows more about wine than anybody else I know. And I know a lot of people that know a lot about wine, myself included. My sister's knowledge is exponentially larger, greater than anybody else I know. And her collection's, well, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's a working collection, though. Kudos to that. Anyway, this book she suggested to me said there's this thing called pecan beer, where you put some of this in your beer. I'm putting some of this in with my Hoegaarden. I gotta tell you, that's a really nice mix, because there's some orange notes in the Hoegaarden anyway. And adding a little more bitterness to the Hoegaarden, it works. It works nicely. And it's enabled me to have this difficult conversation where I have to tell you that I'm not going to produce any videos for the next couple of months. I'm going to drink about 6 more of these because it's Saturday night and I'm not working tomorrow. And see what drunk editing looks like. Cheers.